Good morning, Coach Maria here. Can we talk about testosterone and testosterone therapy, and in this case for men, for a second? So, a friend of mine just this morning was telling me that he saw an advertisement, go and get your blood work tested for free and for testosterone levels and a few other things. Well, he went and about and did it, and he's 52 years old, fairly, in good shape. Has let go of exercise for a minute, but he's still not overweight or anything like that. Very active still. And his testosterone levels are pretty damn low. About 147 versus what I ideal is 800 to 1,000. So this company obviously is trying to sell him into testosterone, injections or pills, injections. And did this for free to get clients. And, I'm not saying anything opposed to that. However, I started talking to him and I said, did they ask you, did they talk to you why potentially your testosterone levels are low? And he says, no. So we started talking about it. I said, folks, okay, there is a lot of these things going on out there in the market where the measurement of all from blood work that they're doing is not enough, okay? It's simply not enough to simply be popping in testosterone. So this guy obviously is like, I want to start this injections, yada, yada, yada. And I do it all out. And it says, my friend, first of all, we got to do some digging over here about this company. Second is, if they're all about blood work only, which is most of the places are doing, we might want to look a little deeper. Why am I saying this? And also, I want to see his blood work. What else are they doing? Because you cannot simply check your hormones and say, okay, just because your testosterone level is low, that you're going to now start doing some injections to increase that and check every, 6 weeks to then to 3 months. That's what they're telling him. We have to assess the entire body. We cannot just pump in this stuff in. Two is, testosterone is an incredible hormone for male and female, not only for brain health, but for muscles and obviously libido and all that kind of stuff. But we simply need to understand that there is metabolites involved in it. And testosterone can metabolize and can aromatize to estrogens. And men can even start growing, men boobs. So there's different metabolites to testosterone. And that can create some significant problems from acne to several other destructions in the body. So we need to assess. Now, the other thing that is important is the blood, so does not give these metabolites. So we, normally, as a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner, doing labs and helping people with this stuff. Obviously, I'm not doing hormone therapy. There's different herbs and things like that can help increase, hormones like testosterone naturally. But the metabolites is going to tell us. And how do we do that? We do that through a urine. And that is going to tell a shitload of information about how your body's operating. So then you can monitor this through blood. Obviously, that's necessary too. But also through urine. And my hair is going wild here with this wind that I'm walking. By the way, side note, I dropped my car at Costco over here. I had to change 2 tires. So what did I do? Well, I'm going to do something useful during this time. I didn't have to go shopping at Costco. I did that last weekend. But I put my vest, my 20-pound vest, and I'm going to walk until, they're ready, which is in about an hour or so. And then I thought, why not talk about this? Because it really pisses me off, what I heard him talk about. So that's when we do a complete kind of assessment and we check in. And I don't know of many clinics out there that are doing anything like urine in addition to blood, because they're not too concerned. But I've seen problems with it quite a bit, where we see estrogen levels on men go to the freaking roof, okay? Or they start having acne and things like that. Anyway, when we understand about these metabolites, we can take better precautions. and we can help the body more in a natural way, through herbs. Most of the times are herbs. That comes in powders or supplements, in pills and things like that. So I wanted to say that because that really is a red flag, and people are just not aware. And like my friend says, well, you don't hear this stuff in the market. They just want to say, take this. But I asked him again, going back to the what cost. I told him, I says, do you understand that you did this to yourself? And he's like, well, I said, no, there is no well. The body was operating just fine, right? Look, the body's going to do what it takes to keep us pushing. And when we see this imbalances, we got to ask the right questions. And I asked him, did they talk to you about potential causes of this lower level of testosterone? No, they said that's age. Bullshit. That a 52-year-old should be having these low levels of testosterone. Okay? Now, and not a man in the 30s either, not a man in the 40s either. So in his case, knowing him a little bit, what are some of the causes, potential causes? Well, he's, for the longest life, lived a very stressful life. He's a little calmer now. And not only living a very stressful life, he was also sleeping poorly, which is sleep, my friend, is one of the key things, number one things to lift that testosterone. Okay? Then not eating properly and also pushing at the gym. I'm a personal trainer and I love the gym, but we have to supply the body with what it needs. Otherwise, it's going to start stealing, right? It's going to get all the vitamins, minerals, whatever it takes to continue to operate. But when you start talking about poor sleep, pushing hard, mentally, emotionally, and physically, that is going to destroy your hormones. So, okay, going into hormone therapy, but not dealing with the lifestyle, heck, that is not a good prescription, folks. Or, not a good prescription. Let's give the body what it needs to do it. And I know it's freaking work, but you know what? So to get a paycheck in your office, you need to fucking work. So let's do, this is the only one we have. Let's respect the body. And obviously this is not commercially, this data is not everybody's talking about it. Why? Well, because a company, a clinic doing hormone therapy only is not interested that you get this better. They're interested you come every month and get your injections in. That's what they're interested in. So that's what they're going to sell you. They're not going to educate you into what else could be going on and the potential causes. And while you get this injection so you can feel better, you can also do the work. But you know what? It's about supply and demand. Let's be very real about this. The law of supply and demand in economics is a phenomenal law because it will apply in about every single aspect of life. So why clinics and even medical centers are not talking about the root cause? Well, because a lot of people don't give a shit. They don't want to do the work. Well, those are not my clients. I'll tell you right there, right? If you're not interested on actually investing in yourself, not interested in applying natural therapies to get your body into better shape, and not interested to carve the time to actually do this, understand that there's trade-offs, then yeah, not going to work with an FDN and holistic functional health practitioner, okay? And not even, don't spend the money with a functional doctor either, okay? Simply the case. So we gotta give the body, we gotta understand more, because you gotta always ask the question. It says, why is this going on? I want you to be curious, not judgmental. And then when I was telling my friend, and I says, you did this to yourself. We're just living life. I was not judging him. I was just, sometimes when you talk to a man, you gotta give them. You gotta give right into their face, so they can have, oh, okay. Give them the data and then educate them, and they're gonna do it better. So that's what I could do that to him. Says, you did that because of this lifestyle. But most of us have no clue that this kind of lifestyle that I mentioned him as an example is the one that a lot of us are living. And then, we start getting the side effects. And I'm not perfect here. You know, another time I'll talk about my hormones and what I'm doing about it. But this thing with this friend this morning pissed me off. Pissed me off because these clinics are selling you, you know, the hormones without really the caution necessary to understand the metabolites, what's going on from estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, and even cortisol, right? Because you want to know what your cortisol, didn't I just say that stress levels will damage, you know, your hormones? Okay, so why we're not measuring that? Could the person be having high levels of cortisol, or could be totally fucking depleted because they went on and on and on and on for the long time? They push it. Eventually, shit, something is gonna give, right? Something is gonna give. So that's part of the work that I do, okay? Is to give you access to this amazing information and help explain to you and put natural therapists. So if you're working with somebody, you know, who is helping you with hormone therapy, hey, let's monitor this in the right way and let's do the work so you come out of this stronger, you know, than ever, and empowered and not dependent on this stuff, okay? So anyway, that's all I wanted to say here this morning while I continue my walk here, waiting on Costco to get my my car back with my new tires. That, by the way, I think was alignment. Seems like it. You know, freaking lazy over here, not taking the car for alignment. I think it kind of ate the inside of my tires. So there is a cost of me not taking the car in the time for an alignment. Okay, end up having to pay for freaking new tires. My fault, right? But so folks, get on it. Okay, I think hormone therapy can be an excellent tool, okay, to help us. There's plenty of data here undoing the destruction that, for example, for women especially, right? The women's research many years ago that scared the hell out of people with hormone therapy. Nobody has any research on men testosterone levels, right? But hey, women can leverage hormones as long as we know what these hormones are, not only from blood, but also from urine, understanding the metabolites, so we know what the body's preferring. And then through natural ways, we can kind of guide the body differently, feed what the body needs, cleanse. A lot of problems is about actually liver, okay? Because the liver, when it's toxic, and we can see this through testing, by the way, okay, we can see all this information. It's not about your liver enzymes. Nope, that's not about it, that we can get in blood. It's way more than that. Right? Well, the liver is responsible for secreting extra sex hormones. And there is beta glucuronidase, which actually, when it's elevated, gives an indication for us that there is a huge risk that estrogens could be recirculating in the body. So we need to freaking cleanse that liver. And I'm not talking about having to do a liver flush or anything like that, but there's many other ways that we can help the liver. This needs to be understood. Again, they're not checking for that. So what I've seen many times is this men and women going to hormone therapy and the liver being messed up and the shit is circulating and the weight loss doesn't happen. It simply doesn't happen. Maybe some other symptoms are happening and are improving, but it's creating a cascade of other problems in addition, you know, to some improvements. So first, folks, know that there is so much to the body that we need to continue to check and learn. And so it's good when you have somebody who is educated and on your side to help you kind of identify those things and educate you on those things. And that's what Coach Maria here from bfabbu.com can do for you. And if this sounds interesting, if you're curious, send me a direct message, okay? Send me a message over here, and then we can talk more about her. And I mean, it's not going to cost you anything. But if this is curious, you can do your other research. You can reach out to me because that's what I do for a living, okay? Helping people to reach optimal levels by understanding, giving them access to functional lab tests like stool, you know, microbiome, hormones, you know, liver, all kinds of stuff, okay? Organic acids, which is your minerals, you know, we can see really what's happening. So then, you know, with another health professional, right? If you're doing any medications or anything like that, then we can improve, okay? But you got to do the work. Be educated, and don't let just anybody tell you what to do without, data, okay? You want the data for yourself. You deserve the data. And we're not in lacking information in this world anymore, right? The information is everywhere. Now, is that information applicable to you? That's what this data, the labs, can help you. And again, is way more than blood. Blood is one source of data, okay? So think about it. Hair gives data, right? Our poop gives data. Our saliva gives data. Our urine and our blood. All these are extremities, okay, that provide data about our body. And blood, that's a must. That's a must. Everybody's got to have their blood work done, in my opinion. I don't care what age it is. After 18, you got it. And knowing the astronomical levels of children's obesity and all that going on, why are we waiting until your 30s to get your blood work when you already have potentially a child, or a teenager who is already unhealthy? Now. You got to do it now, okay? And obviously it's not up to them because they don't have all the knowledge and understanding that's how is this important. We can have, can help these children from the beginning to help them educate them, but also, we're going to help them shape what they potentially can keep doing for themselves. Okay, so yes, 18, if not younger, obviously, we got to keep this blood work going. And then, and when you kind of want to optimize from a prevention level, you start doing some more. You know what? I have some bloating, I have some constipation, I have some reflux. Well, there's big signs on your gut, right? Big signs. Okay. And then, go to your 30s. And if you're a man, start having erectile dysfunction and says, wow, shit, that's a problem. Well, we're going to say, where is that coming from? Could be multiple sources, but like some examples that I mentioned is stress, nutrient deficiencies, even lack of exercise or too much exercise when we're not repleting the body properly. Okay. And there's more to it. Okay. This is just a little token thing. I can speak on this about for hours and hours and hours, but I don't think that you want to hear me over here while I walk on hours and hours and hours. So that's what I do with my folks when they join my program. Okay. The Horstmann Method, which I kind of customize for each person. Okay. Based on what their needs are and so on. So anyway, send me a private message and we can talk more about it. But you are empowered. You can get empowered, okay? Just don't let people and, these providers out there just to throw information at you or throw what you need, understanding that there is probably more that we need to learn because the body is an incredible, beautiful machine, okay? So let's attack this from the right way. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and blessings here from Coach Maria from BFABU, your functional diagnostic and nutritional practitioner, online coach and trainer, and here to help you optimize and give you performance that you never thought you could have. Take care.